Hey there, so welcome back to the vlog. I would just like to follow up on something from yesterday. You may remember that I was saying there was a bit of uncertainty going on around me, some of it good, some of it bad, and I wasn't too sure what was going on myself. The good news is a lot of that resolved itself today. So I've spoken to various different people at different places to try and make sure that everybody's aware of what's going on and to make sure that I can move forward without impeding anybody or them impeding me. So yeah, this is always a big thing. There's a big difference between when I was younger and now as I'm older. There used to be a fear, especially when I was a teenager or in my 20s. There was always a fear that if you said the wrong thing, you might offend somebody. But to be totally honest, there's a lot of people out there like they really don't give a monkey's. So it's if you just basically come out with like, hey, look, I've got this problem here. Either move out of the way or help me resolve it. So it's amazing how quickly things get dealt with. Got a lot going on still at the moment. So as I mentioned just before the new year, I had a New Year's resolution that I didn't do last year. I failed at it, and that was to run 15k. And so I've made a little bit of an effort to try and start running again a bit earlier. I know the snow's just fallen and it's January, but I did manage to get out to an indoor track and get a couple of kilometers in. So I'm actually quite happy about that. The other thing also that's been going on is I've been learning to play the piano.
She sits behind a piano, then I know just where my heart belongs. It's the way she plays. I can't help it, there's something about the way she plays.
So yeah, things are moving along. It's going a little bit slower than I had anticipated. For those who are wondering how I'm doing it, I'm basically taking a two-pronged approach. Number one, I'm using Musician, which is a paid service, but there is a free part to it. So I'm using the free bit just because money is a constraint right now. So I'm using that, and then what I also then do is I do about another 10 minutes of just like trying to work through stuff on my own. And I guess, as with everything else, I've got an idea in my head as to how fast I should be progressing, and the reality doesn't actually match what I was hoping. But things are moving forward. That's something I'm quite happy about. So the funny thing was the other day, my other half, she was like, how come you have taken up guitar, you've taken up running, you're running a YouTube channel, you now want to learn to play piano, and she's like, and I don't get time to do anything. But of course, like, she's sitting there watching Netflix every night for several hours, and this is the big difference. It's like, we both have the same amount of downtime once the kids go to bed, but how we use that downtime is the difference. So this also correlates to what I was saying before about, I have to be careful with the amount of noise I'm making when I'm doing the YouTube videos, because I can't wake up the kids. So yes, there's a lot going on. I also am doing a little bit of motion work as well with Apple Motion. There are a couple of video ideas that I have for special videos, and in order to do that, like, one of them is going to be to do with the quantum computing again. You might remember the other week that I was looking at quantum computing. So I've managed to plug some holes in my knowledge. There were some things that weren't quite gelling the first time I looked at it. Now I understand more about what's going on, and I'd like to pass on that knowledge to any of you if you are interested in that. So in order to facilitate that, I'm going back and trying to do some special graphics using Apple Motion, which will be used in that video. So of course this is creating an extra time drain at the moment, because my skill set in Apple Motion is nowhere now as good as what it is in Final Cut Pro. So I have to basically put in the time to learn and get good at it in order to come up with something that I can then show you. One thing begets another, and that's a common theme at the moment. Like, I'm really trying to use as much of my spare time everywhere I can get. I'm doing something. I'm really not sitting down that much. I still do, sit down and watch YouTube for about an hour a day, but the other 2 hours, I'm doing stuff. I'm reading stuff. I'm learning stuff. And then if I'm not doing that, then I'm working. So yeah, there's a lot going on. Yeah, so the other funny thing is I picked up a troll as well. I'm not going to call the person out, but we'll see if that person pops up a bit more publicly. But yeah, every time I post a video, this person comes along and downvotes it. It's quite funny. But something, for those, and including the troll, because they probably don't know that, the downvote button doesn't do what you think it does. Whilst it is a signal back to me, which is why I say thumbs up if you like something, thumbs down now if you don't. That is a signal to me. But if 10 people say that a video is good and one person is just consistently downvoting all the time, it's still good. So anyway, the downvote button doesn't actually do anything. It doesn't flag anything at Google. What it may do is affect the videos that the troll can see. So each time they downvote, then the algorithm's going like, well, if you don't like this, I'm not going to show it to you again. But of course, they keep coming back because they're a troll. So yeah, it's actually quite a funny thing. But yeah, it doesn't actually do anything bad. It doesn't demote it to anybody else because the algorithm is actually serving up videos to each individual viewer based on their own preferences. So yeah, just because you don't like a video, it doesn't affect anybody else, and it also doesn't demote my channel overall either. As far as Google is concerned, it's just classified as engagement, so it doesn't matter if you like it or dislike it. It's the same thing to Google. So that's why recently I've been saying thumbs up or thumbs down, because once I realised it actually doesn't make a difference, they equate to the same thing. It's just a metric for engagement. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there today. If you do like these videos, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. If you want to stick around, please subscribe, and thanks for watching. Alright, bye.